Nothing feels exciting anymore. Not your goals. Not your hobbies. Not even the things you once prayed for. You wake up. You scroll. You go through the day. And everything feels flat. You're not exactly sad. You're not exactly happy. You're just numb. And the scary part? You don't even know when it started. Maybe you think you're lazy. Maybe you think you're ungrateful. Maybe you think something inside you broke. But what if nothing is broken? What if your brain is just overwhelmed? What if the problem isn't your life, but the way your brain has been trained to experience it? Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you might finally understand why nothing feels exciting anymore. There was a time when small things felt big. A new message. A new song. A new idea. You felt anticipation. You felt curiosity. Now, you consume everything, but feel almost nothing. You finish a whole series in one weekend. You scroll for hours. You watch dozens of short videos. And when you're done, you feel emptier than before. Why? Because your brain has been flooded. Not with meaning, but with stimulation. There's a difference. Meaning builds slowly. Stimulation hits instantly. And we've been living on instant hits. Let's talk about dopamine. Not in a complicated way. Dopamine is not the happiness chemical. It's the anticipation chemical. It spikes when you expect something rewarding. That's why notifications feel powerful. That's why scrolling feels addictive. That's why short videos feel impossible to stop. Every swipe gives your brain. Maybe the next one is better. Maybe the next one is funnier. Maybe the next one is shocking. Tiny spike. Tiny spike. Tiny spike. Over and over. Your brain adapts. It always adapts. And when something repeats enough times, your brain raises the baseline. Now normal life feels too slow. Too quiet. Too boring. Not because it is, but because your brain expects fireworks. Real life doesn't come in 15-second bursts. It unfolds slowly. Studying requires patience. Building a skill requires repetition. Conversations require attention. But your brain has been trained for speed. So when life slows down, it feels uncomfortable. And your brain interprets discomfort as, this is boring. This is pointless. Find something better. So you reach for your phone. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is conditioned. And the more you escape boredom, the less tolerance you build for it. And here's the truth most people avoid. Excitement is born from contrast. If everything is intense, nothing feels intense. If everything is stimulating, nothing feels special. You didn't lose your passion. You lost your sensitivity. Overstimulation doesn't just affect focus. It affects emotion. When your nervous system is constantly activated, it protects itself. How? By numbing you slightly. You don't feel deep sadness. But you also don't feel deep joy. It's safer that way. Your brain thinks it's helping you. Reducing intensity. Flattening the highs and lows. But the cost is heavy. Life starts to feel distant. Like you're watching it, not living it. You're present physically, but not emotionally. And that's terrifying. Because you start questioning yourself. Why don't I care anymore? Why don't I feel excited? Why am I like this? But the real question is, what have you been feeding your brain every day? We are the first generation in history To experience this level of constant stimulation. Unlimited content. Endless novelty. Infinite scrolling. Your ancestors waited weeks for news. You get it every second. Your brain evolved for survival challenges, not algorithmic dopamine loops. And here's what happens. Your reward system gets hijacked. The brain starts preferring fast, easy, immediate, over, slow, deep, meaningful. And meaning always takes time. So you slowly stop chasing depth. Because shallow stimulation feels easier. But shallow stimulation never satisfies. It just demands more. And more. And more. Until nothing feels exciting anymore. Let's be clear. This isn't a diagnosis. But many people confuse overstimulation with depression. They say, I don't enjoy anything. But when they remove stimulation for a few days, something shifts. Color returns. Curiosity returns. Why? Because the brain recalibrates. It remembers what normal feels like. And normal is slower, calmer, less explosive, but more real. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. You can't fix numbness with more stimulation. You can't scroll your way back to excitement. You have to reduce the noise. Not forever. Just enough for your brain to breathe. Start small. 10 minutes of silence. No phone. No music. Just you and your thoughts. It will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will look for escape. That discomfort? That's withdrawal from constant stimulation. Stay with it. Then try intentional boredom. Walk without headphones. Eat without a screen. Sit without multitasking. Slow down your mornings. Protect your first hour of the day. Because how you start your day trains your brain. And slowly, very slowly, excitement begins to return. Not loud. Not dramatic. But subtle. You'll notice small details again. A song feels deeper. A conversation feels warmer. An idea feels interesting. That's your brain healing. The more you chase excitement, the less capable you become of feeling it. Excitement isn't something you consume. It's something you cultivate. Through attention. Through presence. Through contrast. You don't need a new life. You need a quieter brain. And quiet feels scary at first. Because you meet yourself there. No distractions. No noise. Just you. But that's where meaning grows. Clapperboard final message. Nothing feels exciting anymore. Not because life is empty. Not because you failed. Not because you're broken. But because your brain forgot how to slow down. And the good news? Your brain can relearn. It can resensitize. It can rediscover depth. But only if you stop feeding it constant noise. Excitement isn't dead. It's buried under overstimulation. And if you're brave enough to sit in the quiet, to endure the boredom, to protect your attention, you won't just feel excited again. You'll feel alive.